Know, may Allah have mercy upon you, that Allah created 7 earth and hellfire under them, and also created 7 skies and paradise above them. Above paradise, Allah created the throne. Under the throne, there is something called Al-Kursi, which resembles what we normally put under the big bed or the big throne. The throne is a platform with 4 pillars. It's also the ceiling of paradise. It is the largest of God's creations. Allah did not create anything larger in size than the throne. The Prophet said what means the 7 heavens in relation to the Kursi are like a ring in a very big open space. Likewise, the Kursi in relation to the throne is like a ring in a very big open space. This indicates the huge size of the throne, which is now carried by 4 huge angels. It takes a fast bird 700 years to cover the distance between the earlobe and the shoulder of any of these 4 angels. On the day of judgment, 8 angels will carry the throne. The throne is surrounded by angels. It's not a place for Allah, because Allah is not a body in need of a place. In fact, Allah exists without a place. Allah created the throne and the kursi as an indication of His power. He has not taken them as a place for Himself. The throne is among the creation. Allah said in the Quran, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَنِيٌّ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ, which means Allah does not need the creation. This stands as a proof that Allah does not sit on the throne, because the one who sits on something needs it. The sound mind bears witness that the one who needs something is imperfect, and the imperfect is weak, and the weak does not deserve to be worshipped. This is why Muslims believe that God does not need anything. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, you know that the Holy Quran is clear from any contradiction, so it's impossible to find any verse in the Quran that contradicts the verse in which Allah said what means God does not need the creation. You will never ever find a verse that attributes neediness to Allah. It's impossible. Here, let me clarify something very important. The verse Ar-Rahmanu ala al-Arsh istawa means that Allah, who is the most merciful, controls the throne. Istawa here in this verse does not mean sit. The one who sits on the throne needs it, and Allah does not need anything. So it's impossible to take this verse as a proof that Allah sits on the throne as some people claimed. Here you might ask, Ya Shaykh, Allah controls everything, so why the throne was mentioned in this verse specifically? The answer of this question goes like that. Allah mentioned the throne specifically in this verse because the throne is the biggest creation size-wise. So if Allah controls it, obviously God controls everything else. Why? Because everything else is smaller than the throne. That's it. If I tell you, for example, I can lift 100 pounds, you will understand that I can lift anything under 100 pounds. This is why I specified the 100 pounds in my phrase. I don't need to tell you I can lift 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 pounds. It's enough to tell you I can lift 100 pounds. If someone asks you for a verse from the Quran that proves that Allah controls and subjugates all the creation, yes, you can give him the verse Ar-Rahmanu ala al-Arsh istawa, which means God controls the throne. And if the one who asked you the question is clever enough, he would understand that God controls all the creation. In conclusion, we are Muslims. We do not believe that Allah sits on the throne. We do not believe that Allah dwells in the sky. Rather, we say and firmly believe that God exists without a place. In fact, ask yourselves, who created the place? Who created the throne and the sky? God. So God existed before the place and the throne and the sky, without a place, without a throne, and without a sky. Yes, we say God is Al-A'la. God is the highest, but we mean by this that Allah is the highest in degree and status, not in place and direction. We direct our palms towards the sky when making the dua, because the sky is the qibla of the dua, as the Kaaba is the qibla of the prayer, without believing that God inhabits the sky or dwells in the Kaaba. This is the right belief. So anyone who believes that God dwells in the sky or sits on the throne is not Muslim and must change his corrupted belief to the right belief and say the 2 shahadas to be Muslim. The 2 shahadas are, I bear witness that no one deserves to be worshipped except Allah, and Muhammad Muhammad is his messenger. I ask Allah to grant us the sincere intentions and the proper comprehension, and God knows best.